Hi, and thanks for joining us. My name is Keith Arnold, and I am part of the team here at Advanticom. I oversee our managed services division, and so today the topic of my discussion is how to maximize your IT budget with managed services. Our agenda is pretty simple. We're going to cover where your IT budget is going to waste. We're going to discuss how IT or inefficient IT is affecting your business, and we're also going to discuss how managed services can help, and we'll give a detailed overview of managed services overall. So where is your IT budget going to waste? So here is a list of common IT tasks that absolutely need to be done. All we're going to do in this presentation is try to give you an example of how they can be done more efficiently through the utilization of managed services. So what could my IT budget be doing? Well, ideally we'd like to see your IT staff working on projects that strategically increase the profitability of your business. If they're not working on these types of projects, then chances are they're stuck doing the mundane tasks that we reviewed on the previous list. So here are some examples of projects that show some more valuable use of your in-house IT resources. When your resources in your IT department get to work on projects like this, it actually delivers value to your business across multiple facets. This is why the experts will say that they outsource your IT grunt work so that you can have your valuable in-house resources working on projects that are going to deliver strategic value to your business. So how is inefficient IT affecting your business? Well, it's pretty simple. Whenever the IT department and your IT staff is busy doing all these day-to-day mundane tasks that are taking up all your time, they have a chance to forego the opportunity to see things that are happening, such as your email systems being down. You get customers that are unhappy because their sales orders aren't being processed quick enough, or just basically negative effects on the whole supply chain management of your organization. So these are just bigger items that are going to cause ripple effects across your business simply because your IT systems aren't working up to efficiency. So how is inefficient IT affecting the normal employees? Well, actually, as it turns out, when IT isn't working, you start to get the negative effect all across your business, whereas the other employees start to feel like they're trying to fix their own IT problems, or they're not getting the response time back that they need for their issues that they're having, and it basically just kind of brings the morale down to the entire organization. So how can managed services help your organization? Well, it's pretty simple. We want to take a proactive approach to IT management. We want to try and stop issues before they become an issue, so that way we can keep the IT systems up and running, the employees happy, and then obviously this is going to increase the efficiency of not only your IT department, but the business overall. So what is managed services? Well, managed services is really just a philosophy. It's not a magic wand. It really is just a proactive approach versus reactive. The IT industry in general has always been, problem happens, IT department figures out how to fix it. The approach that we want to take is how can we prevent these issues from happening through the utilization of a couple tools. We have the remote monitoring and management. We also have the patching, the service desk, the ITIL and ITSM philosophies that kind of wrap all of those around based on SLAs and how everything gets done so that everybody is accountable and everything happens more efficiently. So unmanaged versus managed. This is pretty simple. It's sort of how I just described it here in the previous slide. Managed, we want to take 24/7 monitoring, use the tools for remote monitoring and management to patch your systems, keep your systems up and running. When there are issues, we want to know as an IT department when they're happening before the end user comes and says, hey, our email system's down, or I can't get to the sales prospect drive. Versus in a reactive mode, the end user is typically coming to the IT department and saying, hey, my email's down, did you know about this? Or I can't get to this, or this. Then it's the IT network or the IT and systems that are scrambling to try and figure out what's going on, how did this happen, how do we not know about it? And it kind of just, like I said, puts a black eye on the IT department because they're not in the know. They don't know these things are happening, and when the end user's coming to the IT department to tell you about those things, now you're in a reactive mode, whereas we want to be proactive. We want to know about these things and prevent them from happening to begin with. So first, let's talk about business economies via managed services. So economies of skill. When you partner with an MSP like Advanticom, think of it as partnering with like a giant team of IT professionals, whether they're systems engineers, network engineers, virtualization or cloud engineers. You have this whole team of engineers that are at your disposal that you don't necessarily have the ability to either A, afford, or B, keep on staff on your own IT department. So having the access to these resources at your disposal is sort of what helps make partnering with an MSP like a bolster on to your IT department. So economies of process. So I'm sure all of your IT departments have processes for how you handle different things. It's really no different for an MSP other than we try to do it very much more standardized in the processes and how they handle them, whether it's SLAs, average speed to response, and all those things, but they're kind of based on fundamental formats, whether they're the ITIL format or the ITSM, IT service management. It's those philosophies that when put into place are going to increase the efficiency of your IT service department, or if you don't have an IT department whatsoever, or you're just a one-man shop for your entire company, having those guidelines in place is actually going to increase the efficiency and increase the ability of the IT department to focus on what they need to do from a more strategic project standpoint, and let the MSP kind of deal with the day-to-day, like we said, the grunt work, dealing with the patches, dealing with keeping the network up and running, and then also obviously having the service desk to handle all the end user support that I'm sure really bogs down your IT department. So economies of tools. I'm sure that you guys have tools that you like to use, whether it's network monitoring tools or tools that are monitoring or managing all different aspects of your network. And sometimes there's wish lists that you would like to have as far as these tools. What's nice about partnering with an MSP is sometimes these packages can cost $100,000. And what's nice is an MSP would actually probably have access to these, whether it's a full suite of RMM tools. An MSP can buy them and spread that cost across all of its client base, and you're not necessarily responsible for buying that individually as your IT department, but you get to utilize it because an MSP can spread that cost across. So how is managed services operated? Well, first is it's handled through a partnership agreement with your MSP. We do first a network assessment where we come in, kind of evaluate what you've got, what you're looking to accomplish, what are your pain points, how can managed services help alleviate those pain points for you, so that we can discuss overall what you want monitored, how do you want to deal with the escalation points for things when they happen during business hours or off hours, who should be the contacts that are brought into place so that the escalations and SLAs are all followed appropriately. Obviously, we have a service desk. That's a big help. I mean, obviously, we deal with companies of various sizes, whether they're a smaller company that has no internal IT or one guy, to companies that actually have larger IT departments than Advanticom is as a whole. And essentially, what we like to do is say that the MSP has the tools and capabilities to mix and match our skill sets with your skill sets. And Tier 1 and Tier 2 from our RMM side is the remote monitoring and management, obviously, and then they handle all of the 24/7, 365 access to your network and monitoring of your network. And if level 1 or level 2 can't help it at the service desk level or at the RMM level, obviously they escalate it to our level 3 engineers here within Advanticom. And these are your higher level engineers. These are your senior network engineers, your senior systems and virtualization engineers. These are the guys that essentially when major issues happen, jump in and act like the superhero and have no issue resolving these issues, because these are the things that they do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, as an IT department, you might see one crazy thing like this happen, once a year, whereas this is kind of common play for us. We see this day in and day out, and we know how to remediate them efficiently and effectively. And not only that, but we're able to actually leverage our partnerships, whether it's our Microsoft partnership or Brocade or Cisco. We have access to these vendors that, as premier partners, we can call them, get a higher level of a response, a quicker response time than we'll say your typical average end user or IT department that's got to sit on hold, go through the process of trying to open up the support tickets and all that kind of stuff. So how do you know that it's working? I mean, obviously, if you're interested in managed services and you sign up and you have the agreement, and all of a sudden, tickets seem to be being created and resolved and everything like that, that's where the whole back end comes into play. I mean, as a technical account manager for Advanticom, it's my responsibility to make sure that we're doing our job. Obviously, our engineers are solving your issues, but not only that, oftentimes being in the proactive fashion that we operate, we're going to see that the end users don't see as many issues happening, and over time, let's just say 3 or 6 months into it, even your IT department doesn't see all these issues happening, and you're starting to wonder, well, I'm paying all this money and I'm not seeing any of these issues happen, and companies start to get a little worried that they're paying this money and it's great, I'm not having any issues, but how do I know? Well, that's where the whole back-end reporting or the reporting functions come into play. As much as all of our ticketing and ITSM comes into play, we also have the whole reporting that is going to tell you, hey, this happened, you've opened this many tickets, we've closed this many tickets, this is the resolution that we did, it took us this long to identify it, it took us this long to resolve the issue, and these reports come out weekly. I hold the quarterly business reviews, but we can make that a weekly, a monthly, whatever really works for your business from a reporting functionality. And there's different varying levels of reports. I mean, your IT director might need to see one report, your CFO might need to see a report on a return on investment to see how much money he's saving by all these issues that are being fixed or prevented, whereas you might just want to see the average uptime of your servers or the utilization of this or that. So from a reporting standpoint, if you want to see it in a report, whether it's ticketing, monitoring, we can provide that for you, and it's all in the portal that you guys have access to when you partner with us. So an added bonus obviously is we want to meet with you and keep you up to date so that we can take you through these quarterly business reviews and kind of show you that, hey, these servers are X amount of years old, your network core infrastructure is starting to become aged. We need to start planning for the next IT year, the IT budget year, so that we can proactively put into play, hey, we're going to need $50,000 to replace all of our ESXi hosts. And if you don't know this until one fails, and it's because the IT department was so busy, we forgot that the renewal came and passed, and now we can't open up a ticket for support. It's all about being proactive versus reactive. We want to take the approach that we are going to help you and guide you through the IT decision-making process, and whether that's day-to-day or forecasting your year out so that you know what your budget's going to be. So what happens to your current IT team? Well, nothing or everything. It's really up to you. You might not have an IT team where an MSP like Advanticom can step in and really provide levels 1 through 3, or you might actually realize that there's a huge cost savings involved with outsourcing your service desk, so that you can have Advanticom take care of all your incoming service desk related incidences. Or you might just look at Advanticom as having the ability to provide that RMM functionality that you don't have because you can't afford to drop $75,000 on an RMM toll this year, but you still need to know what's happening on your network at any given time. That's where we're going to come in and essentially provide that expertise and that RMM tool for you, and then allow your IT department, if it's of size and it's of your discretion, to allow Advanticom to provide the alerting, and then your internal IT department to provide the fixes, or vice versa. I mean, we can obviously take advantage of the fact that someone like Advanticom can do everything from nuts to bolts if you don't have the beefy IT department to handle all of that. And now let's talk about how much money you can really save. Now, obviously, this depends on the type of business that you have. But CIOs and COOs and CFOs, they're all interested in what is my return on investment? How much money can I really save with managed services? And there's really, if you just look at the slide, there's a simple calculation that you can do to take, loss of downtime versus average employee salary, and kind of, formulate that and massage that into, okay, we know that we had about, let's just say 20 hours of downtime last year. We think that could have been prevented. We know we lost this much money from our employees being down, or our manufacturing line not being able to produce and ship out our parts, and actually perform a real ROI. I mean, if that's something that you're interested in, we can certainly help you figure out how much money you're losing by not using managed services, and then determine what your budget could be for an RMM solution. So what other companies use it? As I just discussed, companies from all different sizes, whether it's a small business with 5 or 10 people with no internal IT department, but they have Joe from accounting that kind of knows a little bit about IT. Advanticom can step in and provide an end-to-end solution for everything. Or your larger enterprise customers that have 2,000 users and an IT department of 20 people. We can certainly supplement you in all aspects, whether it's providing that senior network engineer expertise or the virtualization expertise, or just the remote monitoring and reporting functionality that you want to have but don't actually have the in-house capabilities. And the way to actually get started is simply just reach out to Advanticom. We'd simply want to have just a brief meeting with you just to kind of discuss what are your pain points, what are the reasons that you're looking for this solution, figure out what you got, what's the size of your environment, how many people do you have, what's your internal IT department, do you have one, do you not have one. After that's all been accomplished, we're going to do a network assessment, and then we're going to sign a partnership agreement, and then we're going to watch your business run like it never has before. Thanks again for watching this morning. Just to give you an idea on how to reach Advanticom to discuss managed services further, you can reach us at our website at www.advanticom.com, or obviously feel free to call us directly at 412-385-5000. Thanks.